When I've recovered, you're going to pack a bag of your most important belongings. Then we're going to get into my car. You're going to be quiet and obedient and not make a scene. Then you're going to get in the car and I'm going to take you to my chalet in a What about Santorini's? The only reason I even agreed to go with you in the first place, the only reason I brought you to my apartment is because I wanted to go to Santorini's. I want Italian food. You aren't gonna stop me from my quest for Italian food. Apple for teacher. Content warning. Today is a normal day at the university I attend, at least for final weeks. Some students are milling about with their friends, either confident or resigned, and it shows on their faces. Others are rushing to classes they're late for, papers loose and coffee sloshing in their cups. Some are panic studying before the last exam. So basically, it's chaos. And naturally, the sun is bright in the clear blue sky. The weather is warm with a cool breeze, and there's not a cloud in sight. It's the exact opposite of how most of us feel. But ultimately, life goes on regardless if anyone passes or fails. Except for mine. I'm not sure my TACL will let me live if I fail my final exam in his class after all the tutoring he's done for me. Which, to be fair, had been forced on me. I hadn't and still don't really want much to do with him. He had started out as a raging butthole towards me at the beginning of the semester. He'd unnecessarily target me, be condescending and belittling, and overall just insufferable. I have no idea why he hates me so much. It seems nonsensical. There doesn't seem to be rhyme or reason to it. He just doesn't like me. However, regardless of why, he'd been outright cruel to me from the get-go. I dreaded Tuesdays and Thursdays, the days I was in his class. I almost considered dropping out, but of course, he assists me with is mandatory for my degree, and due to the specialization of the major, there's only one professor for it. About a month in, when I was drowning in scathing feedback on homework and low scores on tests that I'm still positive were graded more harshly than any other students, he come to me point blank and told me he was going to tutor me. I have wanted that about as much as I want a hernia, but he'd phrased it pretty persuasively. That's my teacher? You're going to fail this class without help, Lion. I glared at him. Oh yes, I'm quite aware. I hadn't meant to be snotty to him, but I was pointing out the obvious. Besides, I was certain he and his inexplicable hatred for me were the reason I was doing so poorly in the first place. He hadn't been impressed with my response. Then by your attitude, I suppose I can correctly assume that you don't care. That's fine. You might as well drop out now and change majors. I can't in good faith pass someone who cares so little about their grades. What? No, I just... You just what? I hadn't known what to say, so I ended up just standing there silently, mouth agape. That's what I thought. Clearly, it needed assistance, and since there's no one else more qualified to tutor you than me, I will help you. More time with Sil, the man who lived to make my life awful? Absolutely not. But I couldn't find the words to refute him. Nothing on this earth, however, would convince me to spend even more time around him. I was already miserable enough, although my other classes were a joy. I've always loved learning. Still, I managed to suck all the happiness out of my life with just 2 90-minute blocks each week. More time with him would probably crush my will to live. I wasn't being facetious either. I could personally attest to bullying leading to depression and worse. I was already living it with Sil and had no intention of spending more time in my tormentor. I'm sorry, I can't. At the time, I had determined that I would have to muddle through and pass one way or another, since I couldn't get around taking the course. Maybe going to Professor Quinn herself would have made a difference, though I knew even then that going over Ciel's head would only make things worse for me. I might have risked it, but... Oh, did you think I was giving you a choice? If you want to pass, you'll have to let me tutor you. Of course, I won't force you. You're welcome to drop out at any time. What? No, you can't! Why are you being such a butthole? I can, Lion. I really, really can. And I will. This was too outrageous. I didn't understand what was happening. I did believe him. The look in his eyes, despite the smirk, made it clear that he was entirely serious. Why? You hate me. So, what's your decision? If looks could kill in that moment, Ciel would have dropped dead in an instant. It doesn't really seem like I have one. Smart boy. Give me your phone. Still stunned, I reluctantly passed him my phone. There was no escape. For all that I didn't understand his motivation or what he was getting out of this, I knew then that the next 12 weeks of my life was going to be utter torture. And Lion? I could only stare. You better pass this course with flying colors, otherwise. Well, it won't be so good for you. And thus began a whole new layer of hell to my existence. Those words never really faded from my mind. But once I looked past them as an intimidation tactic, simply said to frighten and coerce me, and instead just focused on the work, things started getting a little better. He never did give a reason for why he'd been so set on torturing me, and eventually I just let it go. For all the time we spent together, I still can't read him. I don't understand him or his motivations. Now that I'm done with his class, I don't think it matters. Besides, as the semester had passed and we'd spent more time together, I guess you could say he's become tolerable. He's still a butthole, but not as much. Almost like he's softened, if not become a little fond of me. Well, kinda. I no longer leave the library with tears in my eyes, and he's even done a few decent things, like bringing me coffee from the cafe down the street, giving the very, very occasional praise, and against all reason, sometimes he will be soft enough to engage in normal conversation. I'm ashamed to say that despite all his malice, I still ended up opening up to him. It wasn't on purpose, since coming to the university, I haven't managed to make any close friends. Still, for all his faults, I have become my closest, well, not friend, but maybe associate? The only person I could really talk to, even if it was usually turned against me. I just needed someone, and Ciel was the only one there. Loneliness can make you do the stupidest things sometimes, like sharing your heart with your abuser. It had been really hard at first. Really, really hard. I can't even find the words to express how terrible it was and how many tears of anger and stress I'd cried. All alone with no one to confide in except him. Ciel's short cruelty had struck home and I was unable to handle it on my own. But there was no one to help me with it either. I'm not a pushover, but I can be kinda sensitive. And Ciel always seemed to know exactly which insecurities to target. How to press all my buttons. Always finding the cracks in my armor to exploit them. But looking back, for all it had originally dragged me under, Ciel ended up being what made it possible to pass not only his class, but the entire semester. God, I hate it, but it's true. What always baffled me, though, was that he was never the same way with other students. Sure, it's not Mr. Congeniality, but he's well liked enough even by students who aren't attracted to him. Which admittedly seems to be the smaller part of the college population. Ciel is handsome, rich, intelligent, and aloof in a way that makes people want to chase him. I wouldn't call him a tease, though. To my knowledge, he's never expressed romantic interest in anyone. In fact, pretty sure he's asexual, to the disappointment of all his would-be suitors. In the present, I'm just relaxing on the campus. I don't have anywhere to be after my last exam, which incidentally had been Professor Quinn's. Make it also the last time I'll ever have to see Ciel. I breathe a sigh of relief. It's over. For the next 2.5 months, I'm free. I start a new job next week, and I'm not even on minimum wage for the summer months. I'll be busy working as one of the CFO's personal assistants. I'm crazy lucky to have landed that position. It was highly sought after. I might have one more year in college, and honestly, if this job pans out, I might not go back right away. The job pays well, has great benefits, and if I impress, might be able to keep it beyond temp work. If that happens, I don't think I can pass it up. My major will pay well enough if I can find the right company. But I'm not sure it would measure up to the money I'll be making this summer, even as a temp. Sighing to myself, I lean back against a tree and consider if I want a coffee or tea as I pull my handheld game console out. Always liked to game, especially games with good story and character development, and the graphics in the one I'm playing right now are absolutely amazing. I've started to dive into a new quest when... Lion. A jolt to life. Ah! I find the person who interrupted me quickly, and then I immediately blanch. Ciel? Who else would it be? You don't have any friends. I scoff. There's something freeing about not being beholden to his opinion anymore. My test had been turned in, and I know I passed. If he could test it, I have hard proof that it's mine and I didn't cheat, so I don't have to take any of his poo anymore. Thanks a lot. What do you want? Feeling sassy today, are we? I kind of want to tell him to screw up, but I'm not willing to go quite that far. Yet. If that's what you want to call it. Again, what do you want? I thought you might want to celebrate passing the class. My jaw drops. How do you know? I only left a couple hours ago. Naturally, I graded your test first. I want to make sure you kept your end of the bargain. Some bargain? You basically forced me to let you tutor me. I didn't. You didn't have to stay in the class if you didn't want to. Yeah, right. I needed that course and you know it. There's silence for a few long moments while he stares at me appraisingly. I fidget my handheld, waiting for him to go away. I have no intention of any kind of celebration with him, but the way he's looking at me makes me flush. It feels kinda predatory. I'm not interested in celebrating anything with you. I have to break the silence somehow. I feel uncomfortable now, his eyes roving all over me, assessing even as I try to divert his attention. Ciel! He snaps back to attention, and it's like he didn't realize that he had lost focus, but he quickly zones back in. Not even if I take you to Santorini's? I pause. That's the best, most expensive Italian restaurant in the city. I knew Ciel was worthy, but I never really never really considered it beyond that. It hadn't occurred to me that he would ever spend any of that wealth on me. That makes me wonder. I'll never get a chance to eat there. And for all that I dislike Ciel and don't imagine the dinner will be pleasant, I think that the food might make it all worth it. Maybe. You're paying. Because I sure as hell can't. Ciel is obviously unimpressed with my question. Did you not hear me? I said I'd take you out. I'm not sure how you could misinterpret that. Then again, it's you. Your idiocy never fails to amaze. I give him a dirty look. I'm used to snide comments from him like this, and it doesn't bother me the way it used to. This is practically tame for Ciel. I had to make sure it wasn't some kind of trick. Wonder what I gained by making you pay. I know, pleasure in my humiliation as I spend the rest of the night doing dishes. That amuses him. You're right. It would be pretty funny. But no, that's not in the plan. I wonder what is in the plan. But I wisely don't ask. Instead, I just give him my answer. Yeah, I'll go with you, but... Ciel waits for me to finish impatiently. I can see the hands in his pocket twitch, and know that dragging this out despite my hesitation will only rile him and worsen however pleasant or unpleasant going out with him will be. I'll have to go home and change. I'm nowhere near dressed for Santorini's. Ciel appraises me again, this time much more quickly. For once, you're right about something. We'll go back to your place so you can change. I hesitate. We? I don't want Ciel to know where I live. It seems like a bad job all around, and, well, he might be the only person I regularly associate with. I don't want to give him such personal information. It's fine, really. I'll be back in heaven. Well, take my car. It's faster and easier. I glare up at him. This isn't something I'm willing to budge on. And at the same time, I know deep down if fighting about this isn't really worth it. I don't want him to know where I live, but the more I think about it, the more I consider the downsides or lack of them. What could he possibly do with my address? After this, I'll never see him again. Except perhaps in passing. There's no harm, really. It's just me not wanting to give him one more vulnerability, but what does it really matter? He hates me, even if he's taking me out. It's not like it's for him, even if he's there and paying. This is my celebration after this. A pit forms in my stomach, and the thought echoes in my mind. After this, I won't have anyone. I probably shoved the thought away. That isn't important right now. Maybe I'll make friends at my job, or at least work friends who I can talk to casually. Won't be so bad not having Ciel in my life. Okay, fine, lead the way. I'm not expected to be led to an idling limousine with a chauffeur waiting. Still, the man opens the door for me and then Ciel, who for some reason indicates that I should get in before him. It's strangely polite. Also, hold up. Okay, so this is part of the Yandere Love Chains of Fate series, and I'm just wondering, what's with all the men in this series having limousines? Like, literally, yesterday, we had freaking Damien, like, pulling us up into his limousine, kidnapping us, and chugging us away to, like, God knows where. And now we have Ciel over here, chugging us into another limousine and ushering us home? Then again, as much as I expected him to be rude about it, Ciel is definitely from the kind of intergenerational wealth that would prize good manners. It's probably just instinctual for him instead of him having even a modicum of respect for me. Thank you. It looks like both of us have manners ingrained into us. My parents have made sure I was polite and courteous too. We settle into the car and it's a quick drive back to my apartment. I don't expect Ciel to insist on following me up to my door though. Oh! Wait, am I the same protagonist as before? Really, you don't have to. It's fine. I frowned. That wasn't really a suggestion. I don't want you to come inside my apartment. Ciel raises an eyebrow in response. Do you understand the kind of attire is required for an establishment like Santorini's? I mean, I realized with a sinking stomach that, while I have a vague idea, I actually don't know what would be appropriate, and the last thing I want to do is go underdressed. And while Ciel might find that entertaining, I feel it's also that he doesn't want to be embarrassed by me, so he does have some skin in the game. It's annoying in a major way, but I'm apparently going to be bending to Ciel's fashion advice. In my home, in my sanctuary, I half out a frustrated sigh. Fine, you're right. Welcome in. I unlock the door and push it open, bearing the rest of my soul to the person who hates me most in life. Mikasa es Tsukasa, I guess. The sarcasm doesn't quite land. Instead, Ciel's taking everything with clinical detachment. That strangely doesn't make me super self-conscious. He just looks. There's no judgment in his eyes. Even once he's taken everything in and turned to me. Well, get on with it. Yes, your majesty. I roll my eyes and head for the closet. Not that. You look like a hustler. Wow, thanks. Just being honest. I didn't know your taste would actually get worse. Change immediately. You're so good for self-esteem. Hold on one sec. I might have something. Better. Don't you have any dress shoes in decent condition? Not all of us go to fancy restaurants on the regular, you know. So. No, Ciel, these are the best I have. I'm coming in there. You clearly need more help than I anticipated. No! Damn it, you can't just barge in like that. I could have been naked. Unfortunately, you aren't. What do you mean, unfortunately? My cheeks flush hot and I blink once, twice in astonishment. Did he just say what I think he said? Pardon? His eyes don't waver as he repeats himself. You hurt me. It's unfortunate that you aren't naked. I'm absolutely flabbergasted. I have no idea how to respond, or even if I should respond at all. I end up just standing there, frozen. Ciel takes a step closer to me, stocky like the predator I had previously thought of him as. Another step, I can't bring myself to move, even though my brain is blaring out, Warning! Warning! Lion? His voice is lower, huskier as he approaches. His eyes focus on my mouth. My tongue darts out nervously to lick my suddenly dry lips, and I can't stop looking at him. It doesn't stop until we're almost chest to chest, and I can feel the heat of his body against mine. I'm going to kiss. What do you mean you're going to kiss me? I don't know what to say. He's not exactly asking permission, but part of me thinks, well, I could push him away easily. I think he'd move too. If I told him to stop, the question is, do I want him to? I want it. It doesn't make any sense, but this part between us, I want to see where it leads. Absolutely not. He's crazy if he thinks he can treat me so poorly and still expect me to feel any attraction to him. I know you guys want me to kiss him. I know that. I am gonna kiss him. What did I just do? And with Ciel? If you guys want to know what I just did, yeah, I had to skip an entire scene. It's all on my Patreon in case you guys want to see it. Yeah, link to that is in the description below. But anyway, stop thinking so hard. I can't. Ciel, what was that? Literally, what was that? Like, okay, you guys didn't see this, okay? You guys definitely didn't see this, but like, as he was going into Pound Town with me, as he was, you know, as he was turning my booty hole into mashed potatoes, he went on to say something along the lines of, oh, you have no idea how long I've waited for this. Like, fam, you're my teacher. What is wrong with you? And they would torture me for an entire semester. What sort of enemies to lovers trope is this? Gah! A long time coming. I don't understand what he's getting at. We're enemies. He hates me. And I'm not going into a love-hate relationship with him. Oh God. I shouldn't have done this. I know about you, but this was it wasn't a mistake. Don't call it that, Lion. You've been mine from the start. Just took a little while longer to get you where I wanted you. My jaw drops open. You mean like... You mean with my legs spread open for you in my own bed? Golly. What? You're crazy. I won't. I start to get up out of his embrace, furious and humiliated. But he just pulls me back down. I struggle, but the muscles I recently discovered he had are too strong. I can't get away. Can I squish? I want to squish the muscles. Seal! Stop. Lion. I don't want to get violent, and you're ruining the mood. The mood? Get off! I want to go! Suddenly, Ciel jerks me down, right into his face, and he glares at me. I'm frozen in his grip, unable to move a muscle or even just look away. Lion, you're going to listen to me. Now. When I've recovered, you're going to pack a bag of your most important belongings. Then, we're going to get into my car. You're going to be quiet and obedient, not make a scene. Then, you're going to get in the car, and I'm going to take you to my chalet in a mountain. What about Santorini's? The only reason I even agreed to go with you in the first place, the only reason I brought you to my apartment is because I wanted to go to Santorini's. I want Italian food. You aren't gonna stop me from my quest for Italian food. I can only stare, mutely, at the ridiculous things he's saying. Once we're there, I'm going to give you time to adjust to our relationship and understand the rules. Eventually, we'll leave, move in together, and when the time is right, we'll get married. I want to adopt 2 children, and you're going to stay at home and raise them. What are you even on about? As long as you obey me, you'll be happy and want for nothing. Do you understand? Tears have filled my eyes as I realize he's serious, deadly serious, and at the moment, there's nothing I can do. Ciel, what are you talking about? I can't. Please don't do this. You're crazy. I don't want to punish you this early on, but you're asking for it right now. Lion, get up, get dressed, and pack your things. And don't ask any more questions. Not knowing what else to do, honestly, I think I'm in shock. I get dressed and pack the bag under Ciel's watchful eyes. I'm just playing along for now, since I've just found out that Ciel is completely unhinged and delusional. I don't want to test his idea of punishment either, so I'm going to pretend I'm listening to him and look for an escape route as soon as I can get away with running. As he's leading me back outside to the limousine that's somehow still waiting for us, I look around, desperate to not get in the car with him. Once that happens, I'm in real trouble. It occurs to me then that I don't have anyone who will notice I'm gone. No friends, no family, no one. If I disappear, that's it. The earliest I'll be missing is when I start work next week, and even then, they're unlikely to do anything other than write me up as a no-show. Oh my god, I'm really in this alone. We get to the car. Ciel takes my bag and puts it inside before stuffing me in. Naturally, I fight, try to scream, I kick and punch. I actually hit Ciel's stomach hard enough to win him. It's as if I'm scrambling away, almost out of reach, that he hooks his arm around my neck and squeezes. I shouldn't have expected anything less from someone as stupid as you, Lion. And yet, I'm still disappointed. Have a nice nap. I'll see you when we're there. His arm tightens around my neck as he drags me back inside the car, but it doesn't let go even then. My vision goes spotty as I gasp desperately for air. At some point though, I pass out. When I wake up, I'm on a firm bed in a richly appointed bedroom. My arms and legs are bound to the bed. My immediate move upon waking is to scream, but despite the piercing sound, no one came. In fact, it's completely silent for a while outside of my screaming and pleas for help, for the rescue. Even though I'm begging for someone to save me, struggling against the leather biting me to the bed, I'm very aware, at least deep down, that no one is coming for me. Except for, well, the person I want to see least. At that moment, Ciel walks into the bedroom, the click of it being unlocked registering in my mind. I wouldn't have been able to get away even if I could get out of my bonds. I'm glad to see you so awake and feisty. We have a lot to go over before dinner. Is it too much to hope for you to have table manners? It escapes me without my consent. Not that I mind. Screw you, Ciel. I'd love to, but we have other things we need to do first. I glared at him fiercely. You can't keep me here forever. Can't I? We'll have to see, I suppose. In the meantime, welcome home, Lion. Anyway, that was Apples for Teacher. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys want to play this game for yourself, link to the game will be in the description below. And hey, did you guys know that I'm streaming on Twitch? If you guys do want to see me stream and like cause absolute mayhem in just about any games I just feel I play at the moment, hey, why don't you go check that out? Link to that is in the description below. Just give me a follow, and heck, I'd love to see you in chat. But anyway, I hope you all have a lovely rest of the day, and as always, I'll be seeing you in the next video. This is Lion, signing off. Ciao.